Hello and welcome back to the NatWest Business Show. I'm your host, Angelica Bell, and I can't wait to get into today's episode. That's because we are joined by Tommy Mallet. Now, you may know Tommy from your TV screens as a former TOWIE favourite, but since then, he has turned his attention to the footwear and fashion industry, where he has made strides with his brand, Mallet London. Now, the brand can not only be found in some of the biggest retailers across the globe, but also in the wardrobes of A-list celebrities, thanks to his minimal yet bold aesthetic. Now, if you're thinking about turning a passion into a profitable business, listen up. Welcome, Tommy.
Thank you for having me.
It's a real honour to meet you because obviously I've seen you on screen. I know what you do, but I just really want to get into the depth of your story. But before we do that, I would like a business confession from you. Okay, something that has been a failure for you and you've turned it around and it's been genius. So what is your confession you've got for us today?
God, do you know when you say failures, every win I've ever had has come from a loss. So I'm going to think, because I've got this new thing now of instead of me just answering straight away, I give myself time to think about my answers, I never used to do that. I used to just go, boom.
So why have you changed that then?
Just a few different life changes that I've made along the way. But for me, it was taking the no's personally. That was definitely the main one. There was a time in my career, my early career, where I wanted to start making retail, and I got told I had to go and see an agent. And when I went and see this agent, the agent basically said that the brand wasn't going to go anywhere. He weren't interested. He had better brands. I didn't know how to design. And it was basically just a lost cause. And driving home it was in Manchester, driving home from that meeting, I remember calling my dad and I was in such a bad way because I felt like it was the end of everything. And if only I knew back then what I know now, that it would just been made things so much easier for me. But what I'd done was I took all the no's that I've had in my life, all of them, and I built it into a yes. And I built a mountain with it so I can stand at the top and show everyone. And it was that sort of thing where that guy said no to me that day. And my mission then was to show him how good I was. And I weren't good then. I was useless back then. And me saying that, I was just very confident, but I had no idea what I was doing. I was rushing into things. I had no patience. I didn't understand fashion, but I just knew I was going to do something. I took that no so personally that day, I got obsessed with it. And I said, I will not stop until this guy calls me and says to me, I want to work with you. And I told him when I left there that I was going to outshine every brand that he worked with within 6 months. I'd done it in about 2. And I told him it was going to be one of the biggest regrets that he's ever made in business.
Has he rang you?
Thousands of times. And if I would have left there and understood, I was a kid then, I was 23, but how personal I took that and how much it hurt me, I could have saved myself a lot of misery. But also, I'm thankful that I've got that mentality where I didn't give in. And I was like, all right, you're going to say no to me? I'm sick of getting told I'm useless by everyone.
But if he hadn't have said no to you, do you think you'd be where you are now?
I'd always be where I am today. I'm meant to be where I am today. There's no fluke here. I'm meant to be exactly where I am today. Everything I've done along the way is meant to be. And everything that when I'm in the moment, I'm thinking how bad life is or how tough it's getting, I'd never be where I am today if I didn't have them challenges. And I'd never be able to inspire off the back of it. So this lifestyle that I've lived and all this madness over the last 10 years was meant for me. So I would have been exactly where I was today. I don't know if it would have been easier or harder. I'm not too sure. I don't really look back and dwell on things. But yeah, I'm thankful for that day from him because it's a big part of my story. And if you feel like you're going to start a business and you're going to go out and you're actually going to start building something, you don't want the easy route. Because if you want to write a book or make a film on it in the coming years, it's going to be boring. How can you just sail straight through? You need ups and downs. That's life. You need to feel the good with the bad. You need to put them together.